The man never expected this even in his dreams. The legendary golden fortress was made of pure gold. Every single brick on the wall was worth billions, and around them stood 13 crystal skulls. But before anyone could celebrate, one of the skulls was missing its head. It immediately drew everyone's attention. Legend says if the missing skull is returned, any wish can be granted to its bearer. The woman quickly snatched the crystal skull from the professor and carefully placed it back on the skeleton. But in the next second, a mysterious force bound them together. Suddenly the crystal skull lifted its head, its hollow eyes filled with life, and it stared at the group like they were insects. Then the professor boldly stepped forward and spoke in ancient Mayan. The crystal skull slowly responded, its voice deep and ancient. It thanked them for returning the skull and promised a great reward in return. The woman was overjoyed. She quietly spoke her secret wish, but the wish angered the skull. Suddenly the entire temple started shaking violently. The 13 skulls lifted off their thrones and spun through the air with terrifying force until they tore open a rift above the chamber, a gateway to another world. And at that moment, David knew something had gone terribly wrong. Using all his strength, he shoved the professor aside, then grabbed the others and ran frantically. They had to escape before the temple collapsed, but one companion stayed behind, greedily stuffing jewels. He was sucked into another dimension by a powerful magnetic field and turned to dust. Meanwhile, the woman was still lost in the process. The crystal skull poured vast cosmic knowledge directly into her mind. At the same time, the 13 skulls began to merge and finally formed a true alien entity. But the human brain couldn't handle such immense information. The woman's consciousness shattered instantly. Her body turned to ash in the data flood. Then the entire temple began to collapse. Traps and torrents crashed toward them, just as they had nowhere left to run. Raging floodwaters surged in from all directions. Luckily, they were near an opening. The water swept them out of the temple. But before they could celebrate, as the water receded, they were shocked to see the ruins in the distance spinning at visible speed, and the pyramid at the center suddenly collapsed. A massive alien spaceship rose slowly from the rubble. Then, with a flash of blinding light, the ship jumped into another dimension. Countless boulders lost their power and fell into the abyss, leaving only the flood rushing in from afar, finally swallowing all traces of alien technology. Only then did David realize the truth. The legendary city of gold never existed. It was just an alien outpost left on Earth. But to him, those priceless gold bricks were such a pity. Even just one could have set him for life. In the end, perhaps no one will ever know what kind of forbidden wish the woman made that could anger the aliens so greatly.